Hello and welcome everyone to this week's COT review. I'm Thomas from COTbase.com. Today we're going to be analyzing the 51st Commitments of Traders report of 2020, one of the last reports of this year. And as usual, we're going to start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials position. But before I start the review, if you're new to COT analysis, then please do check out our website where we offer a lot of educational material, not only in written format, but we do have some very useful videos too. Back to the review and starting off with our first market, which is the Brazilian Real, with a 22% change in commercials positions. You can see that change size on the chart over there. It's quite visible that it is amongst the largest changes in the past 1 year. It is a bearish COT change signal coming after a nice strengthening into the market that was here with us for the past few weeks, month. If we move on to the 5 years chart, you can see how extreme this market is. And you can see that we are more or less in between the two major extremes. But if we compare it only to the past, let's say 2 years, it's definitely more bearish than anything. So this does mean that both of our major COT signals are pointing downwards. So not much strength to be expected here in the medium to long term. At least that's what the report tells us. And it seems as if this review is going to be a lot about currencies because the dollar index is the next market that we shall analyze. If we jump to the 1 year chart, we shall start off with the COT change signal, which is bullish. It is a 19% change in commercials positions. You can see the exact same change size in large speculators. And once again, you always have to compare that to the past 1 year, and you may see what happened to the market when we had sudden large changes, such changes in traders' positions. So there was an example from February of this year. There was a decline followed by a large move upwards, and that was paired by large changes. Same thing happened over here, maybe not such a big magnitude of price change, but it does tell us that we should expect a bit of a shift in the trend. We may see a bit of a strengthening in the near term. If we move on to the 5 years chart, you may also see that we have a significant extreme. For commercials, we're talking about a 592 report extreme. Large speculators at 508 report extreme. So very, very large extremes, bullish. So once again, we can conclude that both of our major COT signals are pointing in the same direction. In this case, we're talking upwards. It can grow to even greater levels, so don't forget that. It's just a stress measuring tool, and it says that stress levels have built up to huge levels in the dollar index, and in the medium to long term we should see a shift in the trend. At least, that's what the report tells us. And again, another currency is the Mexican peso with a 17% change over there in commercials positions. Interesting to see the change signal being correlated with the dollar index, because of course Mexican peso, once again, futures market measured in US dollars. So we have a bullish signal over here. Of course, on the 1 year chart, it would be more visible. And yeah, you can see even visually that it is much larger than average, and suggesting we may see some strengthening in the near term. Now, just so you know, you can always compare currencies to each other. So you don't necessarily find the currency pair like the Brazilian Real versus the Mexican peso. But for instance, here you can quite visibly see that we have a bearish signal coming from the report for the Brazilian Real, while we have a pretty positive sign for the Mexican peso. That could be interesting. The 5 years chart will give us some clue about the extreme, and that is becoming bullish as well. If we go back way in time to 2016, you may see much greater extremes then. Nevertheless, if you're comparing this to the past, let's say 2 years, it is definitely at those bullish levels. And you can see what happened to the market once we reach those levels. So June of 2018, December of 2018, and we had some bullish extremes over here in May of this year. And we're at those levels, suggesting we could see this trend to continue. Moving on to large speculators, COT Extreme. Well, we talked about the dollar index, so we're going to continue with the New Zealand dollar. So this is already the fourth currency for this review. Very, very interesting. So here we have 136 report extreme in large speculators. Also commercials at their extremes. This can of course become even greater. So, we should not, jump right in, because this could go on and on and on for many weeks. And of course, as the market heads higher, we may see the trend continue in traders' positions. Here we can also find small speculators at an extreme, 409 report extreme. So it is becoming pretty bearish, I should say that. And we can see what happened to the market once we had such bearish extremes signals in it. So basically, I should point out the July 2017 territory over here, just at that top, and this territory here, April of 2018, at that top as well. And we can see that this is just growing, and we might expect a top develop soon. Okay, another market, the Kansas City wheat is the next market, 118 report extreme over there in large speculators. It is a bearish extreme, no question about that. And if you compare it to this 5 years chart, it's definitely amongst those significant bearish extremes. So once again, there's a lot to do here in this week. A lot of very nice opportunities based on the commitments of traders analysis. And last but not least, let's open cotton market with 117 report extreme over there in large speculators. And here you can see that these build up in stress levels do tend to take some time. So that's, a caution, because if you look back over here from July of 2017, it took almost a year to reach that bearish extreme at that top. This has been going on for less than a year. It's hard to tell when the exact point comes when the trend really shifts, but it does help us understand how traders are positioning themselves and what to expect in the medium to long term. Of course, this is not all. These reviews are very, very brief. You can look at more markets if you check out COT Base. You can analyze all the report types that are available. We usually analyze the legacy or classic CO2 reports in these reviews. Do it only on futures only, but you can add the options data as well to have an even wider perspective. Or you can simply look at options only, which is very, very unique, only available here at COT Base. Of course, you can analyze all sorts of data sets, and you can dig deeper in your analysis by looking at let's say multiple report changes on a defined look back period. You can chart all of these data that you see. We have not only COT extremes, but we show you the COT index, the move index. We've got a very useful tool, the long-term trend indicator, helping you understand what's the major trend at the moment. And of course, we also added the volume and open interest analysis, which gives you some similar fundamental know-how about what's going on in the market. So that's very, very useful too. I appreciate your attention. I wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and wish to see you next time when I'm doing the review. Take care. Goodbye.